you'll look at the MLS, and you'll see that there's a property there that you might be interested in, and you'll see who the owner is, and it will be a bank. And what you don't realize is when you put an offer in on this property, they're really auctioning this property off. They may not accept your offer. They may say, give us your best and final offer. Have you ever heard that? Well, what that means is the bank has put this up on the MLS, but they're collecting a lot of offers, and they're going to compare the offers. Now, back several years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, when Katrina hit, I'm sure everybody remembers that. When Katrina hit, I was really doing a lot of HUD deals. I was maybe doing 3, 4 HUD deals every single month. I was doing HUD deals. But when Katrina hit, they closed HUD down. They wanted to have plenty of homes for the refugees from Louisiana. So they just stopped selling HUDs. At that point, my business came to a halt. And I had to decide, what am I going to do? And I decided, well, what I'm going to do is start buying bank properties. So I came up with this formula, and the truth is my business went up instead of down. I started buying more properties than I was buying from HUD, and I was using this formula. Most gurus wouldn't give this out to you, because this is top secret stuff. I mean, this is really good, but I'm going to give it to you because I know most of you are not going to do it anyway. And the rest, that's right, the rest of you are my students, and I hope you do. So here's what you do. To win more than your share of REO auctions, enclose a big earnest money check. Now, if you know you really want that property, and you have $20,000 sitting in a savings account, send them a certified check for $20,000 and attach that to your bid. That will move it to the next stack. I guarantee you that. And put in big letters on the contract, non-refundable $20,000 deposit. Well, they'll refund it if you don't win the bid. It's just non-refundable if you back out. So write that on there. The next thing is, have the best proof of funds letter. Now, some of you have seen my proof of funds letter.
Yeah.
Have you seen my proof of funds? It's a very powerful, powerful letter. It says that we will loan this guy $300,000 without any question on any house that he wants. That's a pretty powerful letter. The next thing would be offer to pay all the closing costs. Now, over the years I've learned this. Banks don't like to pay closing costs. So what I do is if I'm buying from a bank, I'll say, I'll pay all of the closing costs with the exception of prorated taxes. The prorated taxes, those are your costs anyway. You've already used that money up, but I'll pay all the rest of the closing costs. Now this really helps. The reason it helps is because in the bank's mind, they overestimate the closing cost value. They will say, well, maybe the closing costs are worth $5,000 or $6,000 when my closing costs in the banks that I use are usually just $2,500 or $3,000. So I get credit for more by doing it that way. Offer to close quickly. I'll usually write on the contract, I will close within 3 days or as soon as your bank can put together the paperwork. Now my risks are not very great because if you work with many banks, they are not going to be able to close in 3 days. In fact, you'll be lucky if they close in 30 days. If it's a mortgage company, it'll be closer to 40 days. So you're really not risking anything by saying, I'll close quickly. Take lots of pictures of the house. Not nice pictures. Bad pictures. Go find a black spot and label it mold. Go find a little hole in the wall and say, you know, termite damage. Just go find everything, and if the house is not cleaned up, don't clean it up. Take a picture of the mess. Make your case by putting a lot of pictures with your offer, and the bank will think these other investors will see this eventually, and they'll come back and lower their offer. And that's true. They'll think that. Accept the home as is. even with the mold and termites, and I write that in big letters. Now, how many bank-owned houses have mold and termites? Not many, but mine all do. Because I wrote it on there in big letters. Now, this may sound funny, but if you follow these tips, you will double, at least double, maybe more, the amount of success you have buying REO properties. And that's the tip of the month. Very powerful tip this month. For that tip and all of my tips, go to this free website, DennisJHenson.com, and just click on Tips of the Month.